A new build, 26788, has just hit the Battle for Azeroth beta. This video will cover the latest updates to Paladins across the board. First, I'm going to cover talent changes, then a word on Retribution updates, and finally, how Blizzard has recently addressed global cooldown changes. Let's get started. So, going down the list here for Holy in particular, the Holy Paladin core passive has been slightly altered. So what they did was they removed what's called Effect Number 1, Apply Aura, which modifies damage and healing done. The value's at 40%, and they basically listed a bunch of the spells that have been affected by that, so it includes like Flash of Light, Light of the Martyr, Hand of the Protector, Holy Shock, Word of Glory, you know, all the fun stuff. So that's just a heads up on that Apply Aura effect has been removed. There are many other Holy Paladin core passive effects that we just don't see because they're passive and they're a core ability that's inherent within every Paladin. This is just one of the effects that has been modified. In regards to Paladin talents, for Holy and Protection, it looks like they tweaked Fist of Justice's effect, where Judgment reduces the remaining cooldown on Hammer of Justice. And as you can see here, for both Holy and Protection, the cooldown has been changed 10 seconds to 6 seconds. For Retribution, the PvP talent Seraphim's Blessing was updated. It now reads, when you or nearby allies within 40 yards drop below 40% health, your next flash of light cast within 5 seconds is instant with 50% increased healing. This effect cannot occur more than once every 15 seconds. What was added in was the 50% increased healing effect. In previous versions, the effect was missing from the spell and its description. And a bunch of general Azurite power spells have been updated. There's a list of them shown here, including Expurgation, Gallant Steed, Grace of the Justicar, Radiant Incandescence, Relentless Inquisitor, and Soaring Shield, where you can all see how they've been changed. Now, a word on Retribution Paladin changes in the Battle for Azeroth beta. With the new Art of War ability, Blade of Wrath's effect has now become baseline. So, old Blade of Wrath from Legion is now called Art of War, where your auto attacks have a chance to reset the cooldown of Blade of Justice. And the new Blade of Wrath increases the rate at which Art of War resets and also causes its proc to increase the damage of your next Blade of Justice by 25%. In addition to Blade of Wrath changes, the chance of Divine Purpose proccing has been reduced, but its damage and healing has been increased by 20%. Let's take a closer look. With the old Divine Purpose, your abilities that consume Holy Power have a 20% chance to make your next Holy Power consuming ability free. But with the new Divine Purpose, your abilities that consume Holy Power have a 15% chance to make your next Holy Power consuming ability free, and it deals 20% increased damage and healing. Blizzard addressed these changes in a blue post, which I've provided a link to in the description of this video if anybody's curious to check out. And as you guys are aware, in Battle for Azeroth, Blizzard is making changes to many spells and abilities with the global cooldown. There's a master list of all the abilities that have been added to the global cooldown in Battle for Azeroth, and their duration has been listed on Wowhead, which I'm also going to link in the description below. But here are some Paladin spells that have been affected. For all specs, Avenging Wrath with a 1.5 second global cooldown. For Holy, Aura Mastering Holy Avenger with 1.5 second global cooldown. For Protection, Light of the Protector, Hand of the Protector, and Seraphim, all 1.5 second global cooldown. For Retribution, Shield of Vengeance, and Crusade, you guessed it, 1.5 second global cooldown. And in addition to that, across the board, all Battle for Azeroth trinkets had their global cooldown requirement removed. So as usual, I'm curious, what are some changes to Paladins in Battle for Azeroth beta that you guys would like to see? What's already been changed that you're happy about? Or what's something that has been changed that you're not entirely happy about? Hey guys, I just want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you liked the video, you can hit the thumbs up button, but if you really want to show some support, you could hit the sub button. I'm getting really close to 5K subs, and your support would mean the world to me. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.